Before Episode 5 is one of the fastest-paced episodes yet, incorporating multiple reveals that will influence the story moving forward. In the first episode, the psychological thriller sets up the central mystery of how Eli is connected to Noah. Since then, each episode has continued to build on this question, introducing Lynn's book drawing, shared hallucinations, and a strange farmhouse. At this point in the Apple TV Plus original, there are more questions than there are answers, but it doesn't make the story any less enjoyable. However, Before Episode 5 marks the halfway point in the series, and it serves as a turning point in the story. While the Billy Crystal Show has been a slow-burn psychological thriller, this episode is the most shocking, action-packed entry so far. The connections between the two main characters in Before become more pronounced with each new reveal in Episode 5, suggesting but not directly confirming that there might be something supernatural going on in the story. 8. Noah says he and Eli are in Lynn's drawing. There's ambiguity about whether Noah is being literal or not. Noah's drawing is next to Lynn's drawing in Before image via Apple TV Plus. When Eli comes to the psychiatric ward to perform therapy with Noah, he brings Lynn's children's book drawing with him. He asks Noah about the similarities between his drawing and Lynn's, showing the young boy the drawing of two children walking through the snowy forest that he received from Jackson in Before Episode 4. Strangely, Noah says he and Eli are the people in the drawing. When asked what they are doing, the young boy says that they are searching for their friend, a detail from the book that Eli never revealed to Noah. The fact that Noah knows information about the book that isn't disclosed brings up many questions, such as whether Lynn showed him the book at some point, if they have a secret relationship, or if he has some kind of undisclosed connection to the story. Before also doesn't clarify through context clues whether Noah truly believes they are in the story or is using his imagination to connect with the drawing. Both are equally viable possibilities based on the central mystery and everything leading up to this point. 7. Eli starts hallucinating the worm under Noah's skin. The hallucination spreads without Eli and Noah ever discussing what the young boy is seeing. A worm crawls under his forehead skin in Before Episode 5. From the very first episode, Before makes it clear that Eli and Noah both experience visual hallucinations, though Eli's visions are exclusively him seeing his dead wife. However, this changes in Before Episode 5 when Eli starts to see something that looks like a worm slithering under Noah's skin. The young boy has been seeing this all the way back to Episode 2, but he is never shown divulging that information to Eli until after he sees it early in Before Episode 5. This scene is a place where Before's sparse soundtrack benefits the show. Without music, the sound of the worm wriggling through Noah's forehead is more pronounced, one of the more disturbing, horror-esque elements of the show. In addition to making viewers' skin crawl, the fact that Eli starts to see the worm without knowing that Noah is also experiencing it suggests there might be a less-than-normal explanation for what's going on. Noah and Eli are missing many components of the episode's namesake illness, folia dux, the most notable of which in this situation is communication about the psychotic symptom, from stat pearls via NCBI. Plus, most of the time, shared delusional disorder centers on delusions, not hallucinations. Unless they plan on misrepresenting the real disorder, this can't be the explanation for both individuals having the worm hallucination. 6. Noah becomes paralyzed after he collapses. Lynn's drawing distresses Noah so much that it seemingly causes conversion disorder. After Eli presents his client with the photo of the farmhouse, Noah looks at the back and becomes distressed at seeing the letters BW. He continues to get more worked up as he's shown his drawing and Lynn's storybook illustration one after another. He mentions something behind his eye, indirectly referencing the worm, and then collapses in Eli's arms. His skin is ice cold after he loses consciousness, which could have a medical explanation or could connect to the ice hallucinations he's been seeing since Episode 3. Unfortunately, despite regaining consciousness, he cannot move his body. The doctor explains this as possibly being locked-in syndrome, a neurological condition where a patient can't move most or all of their body but can move their eyes, blink, and maintain cognitive functioning. However, Eli suggests an alternative explanation: conversion disorder. This occurs when high psychological stress causes abnormal physical symptoms that a different medical condition cannot explain. Both of these possibilities fit with the symptoms displayed by Noah, but the latter seems the more likely option based on the fact that Before is classified as a psychological thriller. 5. The child psychiatric ward experiences a mass psychogenic illness. All the children in Noah's ward start showing symptoms after collapsing. Eli looks horrified while standing in the children's ward in Before Episode 5. After Noah collapses, he's placed on a gurney and rolled out of the room. As he passes every child in the ward, they, too, lose consciousness. By the time he leaves the room, every client in his ward is on the floor. The hospital locks down the ward and puts every child in the room in isolation, thinking that there is some sort of biological illness that caused everyone to lose consciousness collectively. The hospital even insists on having Eli receive a medical checkup before he can leave the premises, with the implication that he would have to stay if he exhibited any symptoms. He's only allowed to go home since he doesn't show signs of an illness. Later, every person who visits Noah must do so in a quarantine suit to ensure they don't get the biological organism that started the situation.